Hi Leo, welcome to your Timeless Shana reading. Today I have the Muse Tarot for you. So we'll see what messages there are for Leo. Whoa. Interesting. Do I want more cards? This one came out sideways. It's not a sideways card. Ooh, interesting. Whoa. Alright, I think that's it for now. Alright, first card was the Hierophant. And I'm really being drawn to whoever's down here. And then these little lamps around. Are those like, what are these? I can't tell what they are. Like, what are these? Little peppers, you know? The little red things. And then someone's coming up. This is giving me the vibes of like idol worship, god, goddess worship, and like offerings. You're tapping into something more ancient, maybe more community based, I don't know. But then there's the devil. So the devil is here. This devil has butterfly wings. What is on her arms? Oh, these must be the binds. And then the strings. Interesting. Oh wait, who's pulling the strings? How do you do puppets from above you? The devil's wild. You can't really tell who's pulling the strings here. You would think it's the devil, but then kind of the imagery indicates it's the people above. So whatever this is you're getting into is very interesting. Let's see. And then there's Six of Voices. And all these images of people being around things much bigger than them. It kind of reminds me of, you know, ancient monuments that are in the shape of like gods and figures. Then the Empress. There's some planets here. Cosmic love. Then Justice. So it's like all major arcana except for the Six of Voices. So what is up with this? Let's see what the bottom is. The bottom is the moon, so it's another major arcana. It's under that. Two voices. Huh. Yeah. So this is... There must be something ancient that you're tapping into that maybe resonates with you a bit. And it involves like God, goddess, deity, energy. But it's like, whatever this is, I'm just going to let the message flow through. Whatever this is, however the gods and goddesses are depicted now, are greatly decided by the people still practicing today. So what you may have read initially about this that got you interested is not true for the people who practice this today. Like whatever this is, I'm feeling like it's some kind of religion or spiritual practice. But the way things were done in the old days is just not done anymore. I feel like back then there was more of a connection. There was more of a connection to it. There was more like in this case, I'm feeling like when a spirit guide, a god or goddess, like helps you directly, like she's making a bridge for this tiny person to get across. There was like a lot of direct. In the time that this religion came about, there was a lot of direct contact, a lot of direct guidance. And now in this modern form, they want this to be done through intermediaries, and it's kind of corrupted what this was originally. And it's like they almost bend the gods or goddesses to their will. So this kind of reminding me, and I didn't finish the show, so apologies if there's like differences, or hopefully I'm not spoiling. But in Neil Gaiman's book, American Gods, the power of the gods and goddesses very much is dictated by how much people still care about them and worship them. So it's almost as if these gods, in order to maintain their position, their power, they've had to somewhat bend to the will of these intermediaries. It's almost as if like priests and priestesses, rather than being there to venerate the gods and goddesses, to honor them, they're actually there to make sure that god or goddess continues to back what they believe in. That's actually kind of scary. I mean, if you kind of think of like kind of how corrupt Christianity has gotten, like that makes a lot of sense. But what is this here? Like, is this the energy that you're bringing to this situation? This Empress and Justice energy is sort of like you coming across this so innocently and by chance. Is this giving a fresh, pure energy to these deities? And it's balancing out kind of the darker, like, you know, like the lighter being is kind of coming out of this darker shell. It's like your newfound interest in this is helping it to rebloom. But it's done based on this like pure love, pure adoration, not dogma, you know, not by recruiting people or by preaching words from certain books or trying to stick with very strict rituals and practices and making others do the same practices. It's like a natural energy. Well, yeah, kind of. Oh, I never noticed this too. Look, these look like statues. It's like a much more natural, going back to the natural connection between humans and these deities, not this kind of very dogmatic, ritualistic relationship that involves behaving in certain ways, doing things a certain way. It's back to that, you know, because the gods are legends, right? They became gods because people admired them and the power they had. It wasn't, gods didn't become gods just because you were born and someone came to you and said, hey, this is a god. You have to like pray to it. You have to like go to a building on a specific day and not eat food on this specific day and eat food on this specific day and say these specific words. That's not how gods were created. Gods were created because they had power. They had a strong connection to humanity. And I feel like this has been very much lost. So you've come across something new where you really resonate with what those gods and goddesses, those deities stand for, whether they have any gender or not. You really resonate with what it stands for. You're admiring them. You're showing this love for it and what surrounds it, the myths and legends, based on what you're reading, not what somebody told you. And you're finding yourself very disappointed in how the practices are today, much more focused on keeping people in line and maintaining a certain image. It's like, we had so much fun with the Greek gods and the Norse gods and like the more fun tales or the more mythological tales, but they're not authentic without kind of, you know, Zeus was like a playboy and all the like kind of the bad stories that came along with it. You know, that's what actually makes those myths so much more, how do you say, I don't want to say entertaining, but so much more interesting to us as human beings versus kind of like how Jesus is portrayed now in Christianity as like this guy who's never done anything wrong in his life, you know, and there's an entire period of his life, his adulthood that we completely ignore and we don't talk about, you know, and we just go straight, well, he was born as pure baby to he became Jesus, and in between he was kind of a carpenter or whatever. We don't talk about the actual things about Jesus that, or even God. I mean, but God is honestly not, I don't think we can really personify God or like put the same way you can't to spirit or source, you can't like personify them. It's kind of impossible. But Jesus, like, we've really lost his authenticity. I guess maybe that's the word. So I feel like this might be reminding you of maybe if you came up in a Christian household or another like very mainstream religion, you know, like Judaism, Islam, or whatever. It might be kind of painfully reminding you of why you left that and why you lost interest in it, because the humanity was taken away. It became so much more about the books and the rules and the rituals and the way things had to look. Like they made Jesus into the image they wanted him to be so they can continue to control the populace. Okay, I'm sorry if I went too far. But what I think this message is saying is that whatever deity that you feel like you're connecting to, whatever kind of like religion or spiritual practice you're connecting to, it really appreciates this like pure love that you're giving, this pure admiration, this pure interest that you're showing in their story and what they did in the world when they were more connected with humanity, when they were actively in the affairs of human beings. They appreciate you partaking in the stories and the legends and developing your own ideas about who they are and what they did. Well, that's kind of... So the Oracle deck I picked for you was the Kali Oracle. And yeah, you know, it's so funny because I've been reading this book series called The Black Company. I don't even really want to spoil anything, but towards the end there is a goddess that they are encountering, and it's basically Kali. But one of the big things is like too much has her image over the years become very corrupted, where there's like the most devout sect that still worships her is doing like the very dark side of that goddess, like the very much death and destruction, nothing about the liberation, the nurturing, none of that. So that is very interesting for that message to come out. So let's see, is there any cards that want to come out of here? They're just like, no, just the fact that you got the deck out was enough of a message. Because I don't often take this deck out. Let's see. So, first one, Mantra Shakti. Let's see, can you focus? It says, do not allow negative thought or speech to undermine your inner spiritual connection. Claim your voice and your power to express yourself from your heart. Though it may not yet be visible in your physical world, a new order is generating within the soul, and in time shall manifest in a transformation that heals your inner world and improves your physical life circumstances too. Then next one is Chamunda. Ooh, this one's a quite creepy one. Knowing what to allow and what to fight for or against requires wisdom. Chamunda is the fearlessness, wisdom, patience, and discipline required to conquer a difficult situation. Chamunda is the power to accomplish what you need and desire. She is with you now. Her presence now portends a truly exceptional breakthrough on your path. See? Looks can be deceiving. She's here for good. Don't be mistaken. And I'm going to go with this one that was on top. Kalarati. This one's pretty. A process of profound and enduring transformation is leading you toward a powerful rebirth, free from even the most persistent patterns or pains of your past. Your soul is in deep healing. Recovery can be painful, but you will emerge renewed and released. You are blessed to experience a new life within this lifetime. Very cool, guys. Well, Leo, hopefully that reading resonates for you. Thanks.